Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament weekly broadcast. This is Nightcat, and I will be your host for today. This week, we're doing something a little bit different here. Let me get the music down a bit there. There we go, that's better. So I figured we would try doing this live. It's my first time streaming to YouTube, so please bear with me as there may be some technical issues that come up as we go, but we have, I think, a good selection of games. We were a little short on recommended games this week, so I grabbed a few that were fresh off the Snail ladder, which the link should be in the description below for if you want to play against most of these AIs that will be in this cast, or that usually are frequented in the cast. They are on the Snail client, which makes it super easy to install and play against these AIs. It's great. I use it to practice sometimes, so I would highly recommend it. So let's go ahead and get into the matches. So first up here, we have Monster spawning, or actually, sorry, Illusion spawning as the purple Protoss up at the top right here of Fighting Spirit. Going up against Monster down at the bottom right of the map as the orange Zerg. So this is a human versus AI game that we have here going on. And so far, everything is looking pretty normal. Looks like we've got our scout going out here. Well, not quite the scout. Well, it is the scout after it starts the pylon. So, now, although that doesn't always happen, sometimes you might pull that probe back if you're not planning on scouting at that timing, I suppose. So it looks like we've scouted the top left, not found where Monster is. Monster is going for, I believe that was a 9 pull. Just looking at the supply here and the health on that spawning pool. The forge is started, so the human player's not going to know that this is a 9 pool, so hopefully we see them go with a bit more of a conservative approach and get some defenses, though now actually we do have a probe here, so perhaps has seen the 9 pool, though is getting the Nexus before any cannons, does see the eggs, and two of the eggs are producing Zerglings, so this scout's going to see the Zergling production, see 2, 4, and then, or actually only saw the 2, I think. The other 2 slipped by. So may have been a little bit far away from the hatchery to actually see the Zergling output there, though. But does have 1 cannon, which should be enough with this gateway placed here. I think Zerglings can fit through this gap, so could run by, but you'd need a larger amount to get past a single cannon and actually do any damage. I think 1 cannon can take out 2 Zerglings trying to run by. So it looks like we are getting a 3 hatchery play here, so we've got, which essentially is a double expand. We've got an expansion going on at the natural here, we've got an expansion down at the middle of the base, so both players looking to really just go ahead and get some sort of macro game going on here, which I feel like AIs are really great for practicing that type of game, because even though that's where a lot of AIs excel, is just their macro capabilities, they're consistent enough that, like, yeah, you're probably going to get steamrolled if you let them build into a big macro game, especially the really established AIs, but they're great for that practice. So let's see, checking out the game here that we've got our, not our starport, our Stargate up. And it looks like we've got our Corsair production started, along with our Citadel of the Dunes, so we should see, I think, Zealot legs speed pretty soon here. The Spire is finishing up. We do have the Evolution Chamber, so if we need to, we can go ahead and get some Spore Colonies, and it looks like that's what Monster is doing. Going ahead and getting a Spore Colony where the Overlords are. No Overlords in the main, no Overlords over here, so no need for a Spore Colony there necessarily, although it is getting a sunken here, just for that protection. The Overlord's nice and tucked away safe by this Spore Colony. Now, what we got from Illusion here, looks like we're getting another Gateway, we're just getting some more Corsairs, which will be useful soon here, because now Scourge have popped, we're going to have Mutalisk out soon, so while the Corsairs were not able to hunt down any Overlords, really, they are going to find some use in defending against these Mutalisks, and AI Mutalisks can be very, very scary, as they are able to stack more than 11 and control them at once. As you can see here, getting some shots off on the probes. A few of the probes there were one shot, it looked like, but it looks like there is a little bit of splitting here. Some Zealots being kind of left out at the front here, getting attacked. Although that is keeping the Mutalisks from all ganging up here at the natural mineral line for Illusion here. But now the Corsairs are going to come out. I don't see any Scourge. I did hear a Scourge or two die, so perhaps they took out one or so Corsairs, or were just taken out by the Corsairs and or cannon. But here comes the Corsairs, or the Scourge now, landing a few hits, and the Corsairs being forced to try and retreat, but did lose, I think, 2 or 3 of them there. There was an attempt at a Zealot counterattack, it looked like, or at least a poke in, but really didn't do anything. I don't see any damage to any of the buildings, and being forced to retreat here. The Corsair count is pretty low, just down to 3. But it looks like monsters already transitioning away from the air game. We're seeing some Hydralisk production here, and we are seeing Templar from, or High Templar from the from Illusion, also going ahead and trying to take his 3rd. So Templar are very standard, the High Templar with their Storm, standard response to Zerg units. As the Storm, they tend to be lower hit points and larger volume, and so Storm tends to chew them up. But oh, and this nice little chase here going on. Nice movement over the cannons, taking care of those Scourges and protecting those Corsairs. Very nice play there by Illusion. But there is a problem with AI in Storm. AIs can dodge very, very well on a very efficient level, and so I could see if AI gets to a point where it can stand on its own 2 legs and really challenge pro players, that there could be like just a different meta for when you play AI, just because things like Storm are just so much less, or can be so much less effective potentially. Here we've got Illusion has established the 3rd. They're the Corsairs. We're just trying to find them. They're up there at the right now, getting chased again by the Scourge. I really like how he's able to, or how this player, I don't know the gender of the players, so I apologize if I am misgendering them, is very good with their Corsairs and getting them over the cannons to protect them. They are still occasionally losing a Corsair, like right there. They're just going to go ahead and lose one, but in the long run, they're doing a very good job of keeping those alive and keeping their Corsair count decent for the amount of air that they're seeing out of monster. But now we've got the ground army, maybe thinking about poking in. It's a little bit small, though. Very, very large amount of High Templars here. Perhaps that could be one way to counter the dodging of an AI, is to just throw down so many Storms. There's nowhere to go. And oh, such beautiful Corsair movement there. By Illusion, dodging those Scourge and finding the safety of the cannons. But now we have Dragoon production started, and the wall of Illusion might be a bit of a problem here. Needs to clean that up so that the Dragoons can get out. Otherwise, you're going to have quite a clogged bit of a mess here in your natural. And you might even be sending army units and wondering where they are, and they're still in your base because they can't get out. But Monster's army is growing here. We do see 58.5 supply right now for Monster. And okay, now we are clearing out this pylon. And one thing is too, though, we needed to clear it out, but we also need to make sure that we don't get supply blocked. Nice targeting of the High Templar, but not enough Mutalisks there. I think there's only the 2 Mutalisk, it looks like, to actually try and do anything. Meanwhile, Monster is expanding across the map here on the left side. We've got the other main being taken at the bottom left, and this other gas base here being taken. Hasn't taken the natural, which is kind of interesting. And also interesting, the Scourge protecting the Overlord here, which is transporting drones. Very, very cool to see. Now to the battle that's going on, as I was distracted by the drone, or sorry, I guess the drone lift that was happening. We do have a nice defense here. This ramp's going to be very hard to push up. Might need to see some hive tech here. This is a very, very large army. Let's see what the upgrades are. Very nice 3 attack for the Protoss army. 1 armor going on. So the Zerg army going in a bit of trouble here. Protoss army might be able to crack this. And there's really no space for the Storm dodging, and that might actually be hurting it a little bit more too. Now we have the push into the natural. It's being held. There's a lot of Dragoons here still, though. These Dragoons move forward. I think they could break this, but they're just kind of sitting there right now, waiting for the, I guess, perhaps these reinforcements. Very nice macro from Illusion here going on. The Zealots sitting out here looks like perhaps to catch any reinforcements, maybe? This break in the action really giving Monster a chance to sort of re-macro and get some more units and be able to defend here. Meanwhile, Illusion is taking this space. This might be what was taking their time, setting up some defenses here. A lot of cannons, some gas and a nexus, but now we have another attempted push into the natural here, or perhaps Monster trying to break out. Going to break out and take down these Dragoons here. I think that break in the action really hurt Illusion's chances here, being pushed back, and the cork has been popped off so that Monster can go ahead and reclaim parts of the map. Oh, but I missed this. There was an attack on the bottom left here by Illusion, so this bottom left base is going to fall. Lurker setting up a trap there for the Zealots as they exit this area, so nice little counter there, nice little trade. But with Monster's other bases, I don't know if that's really going to cause a strong enough impact. The drone transfer almost getting caught by Monster, but few units they're able to save the drones and distract the army. Large Archon morphs here. You're gonna need those against the large amount of Zerglings. Let's check the upgrades again real quick here. Okay, we've got 3 defense, 2 melee attack for Monster, and the grooved spines, I think it's called, for the ground attack for the Hydralisks out of 1. So pretty decent upgrades going on here. More Mutalisk harass going on. Nice transition back into it, but really there's not much here to harass as the mineral gathering is done. Illusion down to 2 bases here. Ice Storm's pushing Monster's army back here. Illusion just a little bit up on army supply here. But these Archons kind of pulled away from the rest of the army. Needs to get those back. Loses a few of them. These Mutalisks having some free reign here in the main, just dealing some minor damage to some units, and Corsair production having to be restarted. Nice storms there on the ramp. Monster really can't do too much about that. Pulling back and out into the army, getting shredded by these Archons. Very nice storms, and very nice catching that army in that little sandwich there. Making a nice Hydralisk burger. Here we have the Corsairs also holding this back, so very nice multitasking here by Illusion. These Archons again getting caught out, a little bit out of position without any units to support them, having a bit of an issue. Meanwhile, this bottom left has been retaken by Monster. We've got the natural being taken again, and here we've got Illusion trying to push this army back, but really I'm not sure where Illusion is trying to go with this. He's just fighting Monster's army, which is just going to be able to replenish and push this back. Didn't look like he was really trying to push into any base or really deal any damage to Monster. So in the end, I think that was a better trade for Monster in that particular case. Now here we have the push getting up the ramp. Some attempt at storms, but now there's more space for dodging those storms. This base is going to fall. Illusion's going to be pushed down to 1 mining base left. Although the army, instead of finishing off the base, ran down the ramp here. Looks like Monster maybe changed its attention, but nope, coming back here, forcing the cancel on those cannons. I'm going to go ahead and now clean up this base. So not looking good for Illusion at this time. Going to go ahead and fall back here a bit. Illusion setting up here, trying to keep this ramp as a choke point, but now Monster's army going to go ahead and come up to the other mining base. I'm really liking Monster's decision making here in what bases it's harassing and attacking and trying to clear. It's not constantly trying to poke into the same base. It's decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go after this other base now. There are High Templar though, both up above and below. They're causing some problems, keeping the army at least from getting in there. Then we've got a few different groups. Interesting. Oh, that's probably buried there because technically you could build a base there. But I don't think anyone's going to this game. So another attempt to push up this. I'm a little bit surprised that Monster is approaching from this particular angle up this ramp here. It would almost be better, and we've got another large army pressing here too, but there's a bit too much here, I think, for this to quite take if there's some well-placed storms on the ramp. But yeah, Monster would almost be better to move its army over here and then come up here, because it's a lot less likely to be sandwiched, because there's no good round path from here to this side that's quick for illusion. And there are some really nice storms that I think we missed here. A lot of Zerg blood just spilled on the ground there. Trying to push back up this ramp here. Some movement over here on this top base here. It looks like this got overrun while we were looking at that push at the bottom right here. So Illusion currently on one mining base, trying to send some units to clear this up. Might not be able to do so. And really, if Illusion runs out of minerals here, it's not looking good for them. Units getting caught trying to retreat here. It looks like we've got army just kind of getting caught out here, and again, just kind of engaging with Monster's army. No real target in mind, and just getting surrounded. It's like the Protoss last hurrah from the StarCraft 2 campaign. With that, Illusion's going to tap out and give the GG to Monster. Very well played by Illusion there. I really liked a lot of what I saw from this player. Just very, very good attempt at Monster, but just Monster too strong. All right, let's go ahead and get the next game loaded here. This game, it's looking like it is Insanity Bot here. This is an AI versus AI, spawning as the Teal Terran up at the top middle. And we've got Steam Hammer spawning as the Beige Zerg down at the bottom. I don't know why I said top middle, because there's just top and bottom on this map, but I said what I said. It's now out into the ether and cannot be withdrawn. So this game was recommended, if I'm remembering the text that accompanied it. I thought like the one SCV somehow ended up behind the minerals there. As just sort of showing improvements to Insanity Bot. And that's one of the things that can be a lot of fun if you're working on writing an AI, is just seeing your AI improve over time and working on something specific to improve the play or add a new level of depth to your AI, and then seeing that in action and seeing the improvements, or sometimes even seeing, you know, something work backwards or backslide a little bit, but then being able to clean it up and get it working better, and then just seeing that improvement over time, to me was always a fun thing when I was actively developing on my AI. So, Steam Hammer does the scout. Gonna go ahead and back out and drag 2 SCVs with it. These SCVs need to realize, it's time to go home, boys. We've kind of gone. We're kind of far away here. But, I mean, I guess it acts as a scout now, so, you know, scouting the enemy is always good. We see it's a 2-hatch lurker, or well, not lurker necessarily, but 2-hatch, 2-layer. Probably going to be Mutalisk, since there's no Hydralisk done yet, but I'm not sure exactly of the timing for that. Here we've got some more bunkers being placed down, so it looks like this was a run, Rax, fast expand. Now we're getting our second Rax, not factory. All in the action there, and there is the Spire. I can remember unit names. Let's see here. More marine production. Could probably have stood to get the refinery earlier. We're getting our engineering bay and our academy, but we're not going to have any gas, which is pretty interesting here. So I could understand getting your engineering bay without gas, because you can still get turrets, which will help. So just this gas feels really late. Probably could have got that around the and so we're getting double gas too. Actually, we started building the gas at the natural first. Probably could have got this gas a lot sooner. Would also help with the getting stim sooner, because now we don't have any medics. Mutalisks are out, and we don't have stim. And now these Marines are going to go ahead and chase. And yeah, Marines without medic support are not going to be that good against Mutalisks. You're going to run into some trouble here. I mean, we do have the medics out now, but they could have been out sooner. Also, the Marines really should be kind of trying to engage around the turrets, but I kind of understand the logic here. You know, Insanity Bot is considering this whole thing its base. It sees these, you know, that these Mutalisks are down and out here. It's like, hey, that's my base. I gotta defend that. So perfectly reasonable why it's doing this, but... And it's not easy. Like I'm saying, like, oh, it should be fighting around these turrets. How do you tell your AI, hey, I should be fighting around this structure for support? Like, I should be using this. Not the easiest. It's easier said than done, I should say. Meanwhile, we did get a Hydralisk Den behind us. We've now got our Evolution Chamber, so we can getting our upgrades. Factory is started. We've got our 3 barracks going here. So it looks like we've got some nice mineral locking going on for Insanity Bot, which is cool to see. Army count is very low right now due to those early losses of those Marines. I'm just kind of watching to see when Steamhammer is going to transition away from Mutalisks, because the turret placement is pretty nice. If Steamhammer were more willing to engage with a larger Mutalisk swarm, let's see how many Mutalisks do we have in there, 9, could do some damage, could take out some turrets perhaps. Now if it came around behind here and used the cliffs to its advantage, it might be able to clear out some turrets and deal some damage to the mineral lines, but instead it's just deciding to sort of just harass open areas that don't have the turrets. Our starport is going to go ahead and finish though. So we should see science facility. Yep, and it is started. I think it's that building there. I'm also not sure of the building placer that Insanity Bot uses. It's definitely not the give me a building location. That looks like we're getting a second starport too. Yep, so we're getting 2 starports for those science vessels. Some yummy SK Terran. I like the floated factory too up over the command center. That's pretty cool. Fence area as the area around all your buildings. Yeah, that's true. So something I got to get used to too while casting this is that I can see you guys' chat live and interact with you. It's just something I'm not used to while casting these games. So I apologize if I don't respond to something that you say. I'm not purposefully ignoring. Thanks for the stream. Oh, you're welcome. I figured we would try to do something different this time for a little bit fun. We would just do it live, see how it goes, and maybe, you know, this might become a bit more of a regular thing if this goes well. So we've got the Mutalisks here sort of trapped. Well, not trapped, but kind of stuck in this eternal loop that we see bots do sometimes where they're like, can I go in? No. Oh, okay, I'm not going to go in. Oh, nice. No split, no split, no split. Oh. Okay, I don't know if that was a purposeful split or not, but those Mutalisks took a lot of damage. We did have a Parasite go out. I don't know if Restoration has been researched, but yeah, those Mutalisks are really weak because of those Irradiates where they did not split. We're getting a little bit of a conga line here going on, but live is better. I think it is pretty fun to do it live, I've got to say. But now we are arriving... Oh, in the very expensive Hive Tech getting destroyed here at this expansion. Gonna go ahead and get cleaned up. Some Zerglings trying to do what they can, but unfortunately Defilers have been stopped, so Swarm won't be coming out anytime soon. There is another den underway, but I think losing that den really hurt. And Steamhammer just, I think, was not ready for the timing when this push came. It feels like Steamhammer could have done a lot more damage with those Mutalisks had it been a bit more aggressive with them. But overall, I mean, nice play from Insanity Bot here. You know, going with the SK style Terran, which is one of my favorite styles. It's just so dynamic and fun for Terran instead of Turtle Terran where you sit back with your tanks and you can harass with vultures. Okay, I'll give you that. I think we're in a bit of cleanup here. Going to stay on 2x speed for just a little bit longer before we speed this up. Just want to make sure that there isn't really a chance of like a comeback or anything from Steamhammer. And now the main tech's getting cleaned up here. We'll go up to 4x speed here. as the main gets cleaned up. So very good game from Insanity Bot. I like this macro building placement, pretty nice. Especially since you're not going to be getting any units that are going to get trapped by this, like tanks or anything. Like I said before, I really like this floating factory. The only thing I will say is, while this turret placement is nice for against AI, I wonder if, like, as a human player, I kind of want to take some Mulisks against this and really see if there's a way to exploit this placement. So I feel like there is, but I could be completely wrong. Now we've just got the final cleanup going on here. The Terran army running around everywhere. And with that, Insanity Bot takes the game. Let's go ahead and get the next game going up here. Insanity Bot uses building placement that you made from parts of Steamhammer and Letterbot. Ah, okay. Prioritizes placement of buildings of the same size together and production near the front, supply in the back. Which is typically what human players will do. Supply goes in the back, and then your production should go up towards the ramp, the main production that you're going to be using. Although something like your starports, like as you can see, they're a little bit more towards the back. Air production can kind of go in different places, but yeah, very nice. So our third game was I think the final, or no, that's actually there might have been 4 recommendeds in the Discord. I forget offhand now, but this we have, it was commented, I believe, that Banana Brain took S rank on the Basil ladder recently. And so this game was recommended in honor of that. We have Banana Brain spawning as the blue Protoss over on the left of Tau Cross, which is a 3-player map, going up against Monster spawning as the red Zerg, because for a while I believe Monster was the S rank. I can't quite... I think so. I think Monster came on the scene and kind of rose up real quick, and I think overtook Stardust? I'm probably completely wrong on that, so I should just stop talking about things I don't know about. But no, I think it was Stardust, and then Monster came on the scene and took S, and now we've got Banana Brain, who is taking S, so... See, we've got, I think this was a 9 pull from Monster, which we saw in the other game that had Monster in it. Meanwhile, we've got a fast expand, so it looks like we're kind of seeing a mirror, or not a mirror, but another game that's following the same pattern. It's like that, like Illusion was playing Banana Brain style there, if you will. We've got the fast expand, we've got a couple of Zerglings coming out here to scout the map. Gateway is started. Nice little Protoss wall here going on. Clearly the superior strategy. I think a probe was taking some hits there as I hand away from it. And yep, we've got the double expand going on here. Command and conquer one way. Build turrets until you reach the enemy base. You know, I have played games on like mass money maps where I have tried to just, against the stock AI, just cannon the entire map, branching out from my base. It's kind of hard because there are units that outrange your cannons, unfortunately. Banana Brain here going with getting its second gas here set up. I don't think we have our Stargate yet. But I don't think Banana Brain goes for Stargate play, if I'm remembering right. I think Banana Brain was mostly like that tier 1.5 style of play. Getting a creep colony, that's going to morph into a sunken before anything really moves out. But I like that we've got the Zergling here just kind of scouting, watching for anything to move out. Nice. I liked how the Dragoon plugged the hole until this Zealot got there, and then they swapped positions, but now this Dragoon wants in and can't get in. Cute little movements there going on. So what is... It looks like we're getting Hydralisk, so we're not going for a Muta first play like we saw in the first game of today's cast. It's Banana Brain going a little offensive here, just going ahead and chasing, cleaning out the scouts. Gotta see what's going on and see if it can do any damage, but I think the unit count is a little too low. Yeah, there's a lot of Sunkens here. Gonna go ahead and get a second Sunken here, because Could potentially do some damage here with only one sunken, but probably not worth trading the units at this point for that. Sort of keeping an eye on production too. We've got our Citadel of Adun coming down. Probably going to see that leg speed pretty soon. Oh, we do have Corsairs now. Okay. Corsairs are coming out for Banana Brain. I might be thinking of Stardust, I think, for the 1.5 tier tech. Lock yourself in your base, yeah, as Marines and Medics. Yeah, that is true with SK Terran. Marines and Medics can fit in smaller places than tanks can. Got a little bit of a sort of contain going on here. Ah, okay, this Corsair is taking some damage. Trying to find a spot. I think I got a couple of shots off. Now, there is an open space here. No Spore. These Overlords are running to the safety of the army. Banana Brain backing off a little bit when it sees the army move out, but then Monster just returning right back to its base. Some units getting caught here, trying to move somewhere, not really engaging. A few units do fall thanks to the sunken colonies. A large number of sunken colonies there. Now we've got the Spore Colony dealing some damage to the Corsair here. There's a Zergling, rather, that's being chased by some units. Getting a little bit of information before it goes pop. See here, now we've got Monster trying to move out, pushing this Banana Brain army back a bit here. I think Banana Brain trying to regroup before it engages. Some nice movement, stop, and shots there by the Dragoons. Now we have a bit of an engagement here. Decent Hydralisk force against decent Dragoon force, but the Dragoons are going to overpower the Zerg units here and sort of push them back. We got a rather forward macro hatch going on here at the third for Monster. No other bases yet for Monster, it looks like. Banana Brain, I don't think I commented on it, has taken a third. We do have a Dark Templar out on the field as well, with no detection around at the moment. We've only got the slow Overlords for right now. I like that these guys are targeting the hatchery, trying to deal as much damage as they can, possibly take it out before the Overlord gets there, but the Overlord gets there in time for the sunken colonies and the units to clean it up. Now pushing back across this bridge. The bridges on this map are a bit wider, so they're not quite as devastating as, say, La Mancha's bridges. Banana Brain being forced to back off here as the reinforcements are just a little too much for those Dragoons. I think, as I remember Chobus saying, you know, Dragoons are kind of the backbone of the Protoss army, and the Dragoon count is pretty low right now, but these Zealots are going to do some good work against these Hydralisks. Soak up some damage from these Sunkens here, but in the end, this attack here is going to go ahead and be repelled. Looks like, okay, that's just a Zergling on patrol. I thought that might have been a sneaky drone trying to get out there. We have a shuttle. I wonder if we have Reavers? We do. I see a Scarab under production. We have some High Templar here, but there's not... Unlike, I think it was Fighting Spirit, the first game we saw, there's no real good ramps to take advantage of for that storm, and Monster perhaps making an unwise decision trying to expand towards its opponent here. This forward hatchery is going to go ahead and fall. Banana Brain going to go ahead and overpower this base as well. A lot of heavy damage from those Scarabs. I think they do like 500 damage, plus they splash. They deal a heck of a lot of damage, let's just say. Monster able to keep this hatchery just barely alive, but I don't think able to repel the attack. All right, I thought that was still going to follow, so we still got ourselves a game here. And now we've got Banana Brain trying to expand, the probe doing a little dance. The Zealots coming here to chase that Zergling down. The Nexus going ahead and getting placed. So Banana Brain currently out expanding the Zerg. Pushing the army back into this natural here, but I don't think the army's big enough quite to crack this, but gonna go ahead and poke in. A lot of drones got caught there and slaughtered. That will be a big boon for Banana Brain. A lot of workers fallen. At 125. Yeah, 500 would one-shot a Sunken. You're right, yeah. That would be... that would be kind of crazy, though, if it did 500. Maybe I'm thinking the hero definitely does more. But I don't think it does 500 either. I think 500 might have just been a number that I pulled out of my behind. See, you guys can call me on stuff live when we stream it. Now, we do have some units coming down here. We've got the Zealot and Templar army. The Sunkens have fallen. Storm's going down over the drones that were here. Very forward dropped Reavers, and with that, Monster is going to give the game to Banana Brain. In the end, Monster was able to get a drone out here and take this hatchery, but perhaps needed to do that sooner rather than trying to expand towards its opponent. But very well played game by both of these AI, and the Protoss just taking out the Zerg there. Couldn't think of something clever to say. Quick editing, save me, you can't edit. Alright, let's go ahead and get our next game up here. So this is one, okay, so yeah, I pulled this off of Snail. I can't remember, so this is not a ranked game because it says Stardust. But I think the next two that I grabbed are ranked, so we've got Stardust spawning as the red Protoss up at the top right here of Fighting Spirit. And we've got Snail, our human player, spawning as the purple Zerg over at the top left. And I'm kind of wondering, as I was announcing the players, I was just kind of having a secondary thought of, I wonder what the most popularly played map is for practice games. I know when I tend to play practice games, I use Fighting Spirit a lot because while it does have its imbalance problems, it is just a nice 4-player map where, you know, every starting position has 3 bases, or, 3 bases including the one you start in, which is pretty nice. And, you know, depending on spawn positions, it can be pretty logical as to where your next expansion should be. So I kind of wonder, and I think we get a lot of Snail games that are on Fighting Spirit to cast. So I wonder if it's like more popular than other maps, or what the most popular map would be for practice games. Would be a pretty cool stat to see. So Stardust here, not going for fast expansion in this PVZ here. We've got 2 gateways coming up, so it looks like we'll see some early aggression here from Stardust. Snail here going ahead and got the, looks like the 9 pool. We're seeing a lot of 9 pool today. Getting its second base out. Coming out with the 6 Zerglings to check out what's going on. Gonna go ahead and see 3 Zealots here. Try and get in, wanting to scout and see what's happening. Sees the 2 gateways, sees the large Zealot count, and says, you know what? I gotta delay this as much as I can, so I'm gonna keep these guys alive and maybe pick off a probe while I'm at it. Oh, very nice. You can see that idle while you're back home macroing, and 1 Zergling got picked off. Nice pick by the probes there. Definitely delaying the mining time here, and really delaying any aggression from these units. Very nicely done by the human player, giving them time to set up a little bit more of their wall. They're getting their 3rd hatchery here, and now we've got nice 4 creep colonies that are going to morph into sunken colonies. Might be a little bit late here on the timing, but the wall is going to help, because these Zealots can't get the damage that they would want to before those Sunkens morph. Should be able to repel this. So in the end, these creep colonies take a little more damage than you'd like, but in the end, they save the day. We're a little bit low on drones, though. That's just at 15. We had it's a lot of drones to build those. But the important thing is, still alive. Now we're kind of having to drone up here. Can't really do much else. Not going to be able to push out. This hatchery, though, Stardust finds a way to snipe it, so that's not going to be good. It's a bit unfortunate there. I think the rally kind of being a bit of a problem here. Maybe had a rally point here. Zerglings being a little bit too forward. Gonna try and push this back to save the Hydralisk then. Don't want to lose that too, but unfortunately there's no sunken place that can protect that. Gonna have to get that den again, but still not over. Not enough units to really push through the sunken just yet. But we have lost our wall here. Now we're rebuilding our lair, going ahead and re-getting our Hydralisk den, forcing the Zerglings to have to come out and try and catch some of these as the heavily damaged Sunkens fall. Gonna have to try and replace them at the very least. We had a nice drone up there. May have droned up a little more than we could afford, though. We're at 24 workers. And this pressure from Stardust is just relentless here. Really trying to poke in that poor new sunken colony falling there. Meanwhile, Stardust is taking ahead and taking its third behind this. We did get observers now, so by the time that lurkers are able to come out, which it looks like might be what... Yep, lurker aspect is being researched. What the Snail player was going for here. Unfortunately, just not quite able to come out in time to really be effective, because observers are out on the field now for Stardust. Stardust trying to just keeps poking in. It's one of the things that can be so annoying when you're playing in an AI. Like, a human player would probably let their army just build up here to a point when they feel like they can break, which will be a larger force than when an AI decides it can break, most likely. Giving you just like some time to sort of breathe. And I do want to comment, there's no observer out here right now with the army. I don't know where the observer that was built went. And I'm not seeing it join the army. Oh, wait. Is it here? Oh, there it is. Very, very hard to see the observers sometime. So it got there in time. I thought those lurkers were going to do some work, but and the observers were able to save the day a bit. Looking like this natural might fall. Yeah, the SimCity, unfortunately, the den and the hatchery were just a little too exposed. May have overdone it with the Sunkens, honestly. Maybe... Oh, there's a blue Zergling. It's hard to say. I'm not really a Zerg player. But maybe needed to invest in army units a little bit more than the Sunkens that it did. Also, if the Sunkens had come a little bit sooner, they could have got... they would have taken a little less damage maybe from the army before forcing it to retreat. I think we've got time for at least one more game. We might be able to get two more in. We'll see. I just need to take a drink real quick. All right. Go ahead and get the next game in. This is a ranked game from Snail that I grabbed fresh off the presses today. We're on Fighting Spirit here. So the anonymous AI in this game is Adias, spawning as the brown Terran down at the bottom right. And we have our human player playing as Snail down at the bottom left as the purple Terran. So we've got ourselves TVT here. So actually, yeah, that game I did grab, I believe, off of... No, I don't think I did. No, I did. That's right. Because, yeah, I forgot. I looked at the ladder, the current ELO ranking for the AIs on Snail. And I just grabbed some games from the top, some ranked games from the top AI. Actually, well, no, that one was a practice one, the last one. So the first one I grabbed was practice one, and then I was like, you know what, I should grab ranked, and so I grabbed ranked for the next two. So we've got one barracks coming down for both players, but it looks like, I believe, the human player here is going to go for a fast expand, just based on the fact that gas has not been taken yet, and we're still just on, and we're getting the one rack, so it looks like we're going to get one rack's fast expand, whereas Adias, I believe, goes for like a timed 2 or 3 factory push usually, so we're probably not going to see quite as fast as an expansion. And yeah, there's the command center. Sees that there was really no marine production, so feels safe in getting that down without even throwing down a bunker at the moment. Gonna go ahead and try and chase down that SCV, and now that we've got our natural started, we're gonna go ahead and take this gas. Also, I don't know which player out of these two is gonna win the match. When I was selecting the game, I kind of covered up that column with my hand over the monitor. Like, I don't want to know who wins, and just click the download link, so... And one of the reasons I was trying to stick with ranked in that too is since this game's not pre-screened, I have a suspicion that, so if you're playing ranked, you're going to be more inclined to stay in the game and so produce a longer game perhaps, unless something goes terribly awry very early, like what might happen here with the vulture coming in and doing some harass, than if that bunker maybe needed to start a little bit sooner, but hopefully it will finish here. And so for now, Snail has saved the day. A little bit of a transfer going on here. We have our to that factory and placing it down, fixing that placement just a little bit. Nice repair vulture, taking the unrepaired vulture out. We've got our barracks floating over here now. So both players looking at about the same place in the end. 28 workers to 27, 30 to 29 workers. And now we've got vultures versus tanks. What are we getting out of here? Vulture speed and siege mode. That's not going to be good. Vultures... The vulture speed against tank siege mode. Oof. Taking some shots, being forced to back off there. Now we've got the barracks going ahead and scouting. And I noticed now that Adias, so we've got the siege tanks now. Instead of being a forward scout with this barracks, we're pulling it back to site for trying to do a run by that got obliterated by the tanks, unfortunately. And with that, Snail is going to go ahead and tap out and give the GG. So perhaps, I believe the player probably realized, oh, tanks, I just got vultures. I feel like the human player tapped out a bit early here. Probably could have transitioned and started to get some tanks. Would have been a bit behind, but probably could have played from the... I mean, I feel like they could have played from this position, but they went ahead and gave the win to Adias. I might need to pull some more games. Let's go ahead and get the next game out. So this is another ranked game. We've got Barcode spawning as the Teal Terran down at the bottom left, and our anonymous AI in this game is Monster. Spawning as the purple Zerg at the bottom right of Circuit Breakers. I think it's at this map. Let's say the map name. So, Barcode here. Let's see what they go with. Get their supply depot where I can't click it. How dare you? Oh, I like to click things while watching a replay. Barcode. That's what you call those. That's a Barcode name. Anonymous versus Barcode. It's anonymous versus anonymous. So here we've got racks going down. I'm wondering if we're going to see one barracks fast expand. Looks like we are based on the mineral count. Question is, it looks like we're not seeing a second supply depot yet. So yep, we're doing the more greedy build. We're getting our command center immediately. We're not even getting a marine. We do have the scout though, so I don't know when the scout arrived necessarily, but it was probably a pretty safe bet there. Something that I noticed that's kind of silly about Monster, and just to give a tip, although it could easily be patched. I found this out by accident. I was playing against Monster and scouted it with an SCV, found it, and then left my SCV alone for a while. When my SCV was being attacked and I came back to it, it had killed Monster's spawning pool. So I think I got there after the Zerglings had popped, the initial Zerglings, and they had left the base already. Monster just didn't come back with Zerglings to kill my SCV. And so my SCV just killed the spawning pool. I was like, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. But now we've got second barracks starting to come down here. I think this is the same color that Insanity Bot was in that game we watched against Steamhammer. The Monster is a different color than Steamhammer was, and obviously we're on a different map. But it looks like the human player here is going for SK style. Going up to 3 barracks, we've got, that should be stim packs researching, yep. Nope. Let's bring up that graph, too. And we are getting Mutalisks ready. The Spire is about halfway finished, and we've got our medics out already. Pretty nice. We've got 3 medics. Could use a few more marines. Get those marines. The racks aren't producing anything. They're not supply blocked. There you go. I'm watching that because I know, like, when I'm watching my own replays, I'm like, why am I not macroing? Why am I not macroing? Please macro self. Please. And while I'm commenting on that, this player is probably infinitely times better than me. I recognize that. Now the player poked out a little bit. One of the reasons you do that as a Terran player is to try and force your Zerg opponent to get sunken colonies at the natural, but one of the things with AI is they tend to just get the sunken colonies regardless if you poke out or not. We're seeing a few turrets come down to sort of protect the barracks here. One turret, maybe just enough with the Marines coming in just in time to save it and force those mutalisks back. Monster is going ahead and taking its third base now. So it did a 2-hatchery approach this game. Where the past couple of games we've been seeing a 3-hatchery approach, but I think those were against Protoss, so would make sense. Nice repair with the gas SCVs and then splitting appropriately so that you just get 2 back on gas, or 3 total on gas. 2 need to go back, 1 went back to minerals, and then a nice counter here with the Marines. The Mutalisk Cloud kind of lost track of the Marine ball. He's a little too obsessed with the base, allowing these Marines to get in there and clean up that third base. Monster looking a bit weak in this position here. But there are a lot of sunkens there for Monster. Medics going ahead and doing their job of healing. They're going to run and scan, make sure that there are no lurkers. Make sure that the Mutalisks can't abuse the high ground with another scan. Targeting down the colonies. So very nice. Looking like these the Mutalisks are being forced to commit into the fight, but there's just too many medics or Marines and medics. We've got more coming out. Science vessels are underway. So very nice. It looks like that counter that took out the third just did too much damage here for Monster. Very nice SK style Terran here from the Terran player. And with that, Monster's going to go ahead and tap out and GG. And I think I can try to grab one more game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Snail ladder here real quick. Let's see. I don't think we've seen Locutus in a while, so let's take a look and see replays. We will go ahead and search for Locutus. Ranked. Covering up the winner here. Got a Terran vs Protoss here on Benzene. Go ahead and load that up here. Right, this will be our last game for today, just looking at the time. We've got Do It or Doit spawning as the orange Terran down here at the bottom left of Benzene, going up against Locutus, spawning as the purple anonymous AI, top right. Benzene, the 2-player map here. Super early scout. This might be some cheese. We've got SCV production cut. Oh boy, I picked a good one for the last one. So Doit here starting the in-base barracks. Okay. Got our gateway under construction and now our gas. So we'll see if Locutus can handle this. Production being restarted here. We've got a second SCV coming out. Locutus has not checked this corner yet, so may not be aware. Oh, it does find it now. Pulls a lot of probes, maybe too many. Really, you're gonna need minerals to produce some zealots. That's a bit unfortunate here. You need minerals. You need minerals, Locutus. Locutus, you need minerals. You need minerals. No! So, yeah, it's like playing Locutus on Benzene recently. It didn't go well. I mean, if you want, I could try and find that game. Was it a practice game? Actually, if you want for fun, since this was a bit of a cheesy game, I could pull up one of my games if you guys want. From a while back when I played against, I was doing a little bit of practice against Monster. No, it's good. Don't know if you're trying to tell me don't. See, now we've got... Why do all of these probes have gas? And why are they just here now? Locutus, no! Locutus has exited the building. It's like, I don't need minerals. We've got refined Vespine gas here. That will save us. And sadly, it won't. It is not yet one for sure. Right, Joshua, since I want one of your games played, I'll show you one of mine. If I can find it. Probably buried. Let's see here. This takes too long. Oh, okay. Not on the first page. Not on the second page. There are so many games. So many games being played here. Against Monster, especially too. I'm still on today. Okay, I just got to the 19th, and that's like over 500 games. That's just crazy to me how popular Monster AI is to play against. That wasn't such a great plan. No, that was not. And the thing is too, like, you can't really search by player. You can only search by the AI. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Sorry, I was not or for some reason my search didn't filter to just Monster games. Okay, we go on to 19th on the first page with 1 to 100 with just Monster. Okay. My bad. I was looking at everybody and not just Monster. Let's see here. I can't remember quite which day I played. This might be... I think I have the replay. All right. Now it's time to embarrass myself. Since I called out, I didn't really call you out, Joshua, but that's the wrong one. I'll show you one of mine. So this was played using Snail again. We've got Monster spawning as the yellow Zerg up here at the top left, and myself spawning as the red Terran down here at the bottom. So I was just sort of playing Monster a little bit just to kind of practice a little bit, get a little bit more back into the mindset of actually playing, because it had been a good while since I had played. And so I was playing these without any sort of intention of winning. This is sort of what I was talking about earlier, and actually one of the reasons why I want to show this is just because AIs can really make great practice partners, especially if you know an AI is going to be doing a particular strategy. So, I mean, ladder can be good for practice, yeah, but you never know what your opponent's going to do. And so if you want to practice for, like, you know, real game situations where you're going to have to figure out what your opponent is doing, and also, like, you know, react based on that and that sort of thing, like, ladder is good for that type of thing, for real game experience. But if you are wanting to, say, work on something mechanically, or, you know, work on a particular build, nice little SCV dance I did there, AIs can be great if you know the build that the AI is doing. So when I was practicing against Monster was pretty much always going Mutalisk, like 3-hatch Mutalisk like it's doing here. So I was pretty comfortable with, okay, I can sort of practice 1-Rax fast expand into like SK style Terran, so let's go for it. So here I went pretty greedy. I did get the really early command center. Got a Marine posted up on the ramp just in case there's any kind of run-by that happens here. Going ahead and getting a second barracks, getting the gas. Not putting workers on the gas, always a good sign. Monster, meanwhile, behind this is going ahead. You can see my scout is just sitting here, not doing much of anything. Getting taken out by the Zerglings now, but I do see the when the third hatch finishes, saw that the lair was going. So all good things. That is a super, super early engineering bay. That could definitely be later in the build. But now we're getting our stim pack upgrade. Could stand to get some medics. There they are. Monster, in the meantime, the Spire is started. Got a couple of medics. Could probably actually maybe get another medic or two, but getting some pretty early turrets here. So that's something that could be tightened up, is that turret timing. Those could be done a fair bit later. Getting our comsat so that we can go ahead and scan and make sure that it's doing Mutalisks. And there's the scans going off. But yeah, like, getting the scan, and that we got all these turrets to protect against Mutalisks and then saw that Hydralisks and Lurkers were coming. That would be very, very unfortunate. So, a little out of order sequence there. Getting our second gas, trying to get some more barracks, as you can see, struggling with some macro there, but it's alright. Not sure if I've got supply blocked yet. Something I'm trying to work on is avoiding getting that supply block. So now here we have the Mutalisks. Very aggressive, but being able to push those back a little bit here. Monster is going ahead and taking its third now, with the Mutalisks trying to keep the Marine Medic Army back home so that way it can safely expand and get the additional gas that it needs to go ahead and go up to Hive Tech, which it is doing right now. So that's something that I noticed a lot when I was playing against Monster. It feels like Monster gets to Hive Tech so fast. Like, you have no time really to try and prevent that. At this point, I probably could move out with some of this Marine Medic force to try and apply pressure, but instead I'm just sitting back, waiting until I get my vessel, my first vessel. Lurkers are underway here now. This Monster moving out with a bit of a Zergling force here. So now that the Lurkers are done, I definitely need the vessel and or vessels to be able to be effective, but I probably could have moved out a fair bit sooner. The first vessel just popping now. And I go ahead and try to move out. And as I'm moving out, you just thought about dipping in. Maybe dipping in. Gonna go ahead and dip in. Deal a little bit of damage. Get that turret burning, but not quite taking damage. Seeing that the army is moving out a bit here, going to go ahead and pull back. But we've already got the Filers. We're on 3 bases. So trying to come up here and deny this third. A nice Lurker force here, though. But not quite able to get in position, so this third is going to fall, it looks like. But monster already placing a new third and a fourth action down here at the bottom left. We just heard a consume go off. There is a swarm and a nice another swarm and another swarm, and just bye-bye Terran army. Goodbye Terran army. As the medics try and limp home. At this point, going for a third probably could have instead, with 3,000 minerals in the bank, built a buttload more barracks, but you know what? Instead, we're going to go ahead and try and take a third here. With just Marines, no medics. Don't need medics. What Terran player needs medics, right? Monster being very passive though at the moment, just trying to get its third and its fourth a bit more established before it really tries to be aggressive. Decent vessel count though, at least. We've got 6 vessels, only 5 of them moving, that's nice. Now trying to be aggressive again, seeing the... I'm not sure which expansion we're actually going for here. Kinda hard to tell, but really the army count just is not there for this type of push. Trying to do damage before Monster's army gets in here, though. Gonna go ahead and take out a couple of the sunken colonies. At least one of them. Okay, there was the targeting on the second, but now getting sandwiched from both sides. Pulling the science vessels out. Probably could have dropped some irradiates in there, but now the Scourge are in there. So that army just getting taken care of. This base had been forced to lift. Trying to just be aggressive again, but again, only on 4 barracks. That's not going to be enough. Realizing, oh, I should get more barracks. Trying to get some more. Trying to get some irradiates off. I think every SCV or vessel irradiated that defiler there. Yeah. Monster just getting to that quick hive. Was able to take out a base, but just not able to deal damage, and then just macro problems back home. But that's where practicing against the AI can help, because, you know, playing and then watching the replay back, I go, okay, I see where I had some issues and things like that. So always a lot of fun. Again, if you want to play on Snail, link is in the description below. There's also the link to the SSCAIT Discord down below as well. I probably should add a link to the Snail Discord. So I might edit that into this video's description later. And start posting that in future ones, because there is a Discord specifically for Snail as well, where if you have any problems with installation or questions about the AIs, you can, you know, ask a lot of the bot authors that are on Snail. Hang out there as well. I want to thank you everybody for watching. This has been a blast. I don't know if my next week that I do will be live or pre-recorded again. Just, I guess, wait and see what kind of feedback we get from this week. Let me know what you thought. Honest criticisms, always great to see. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Until next time, take care.